This is an account of what happened when my son and I were involved in a car accident that wasn't our fault. First of all, I'm not a lawyer. I have to say that, and this is not legal advice. It is just an account of what happened to us at the time of the accident, the day of the accident, and the week or so that followed. It mostly involves how we were treated and the dealings with our insurance company and with at-fault driver's insurance company. I always thought that everything would be fine if it wasn't our fault. I was totally wrong. I always thought that if someone was in an accident and they called up, my favorite 4 words in the world were, "It wasn't my fault." But that turned out to be extremely, totally wrong, because I don't think it makes a difference how you are treated or the results of an insurance claim, whether you were at fault or not. The specifics of the crash were that it involved 4 vehicles. The at-fault driver we'll call Vehicle 1. That vehicle hit us, Vehicle 2, knocked us into a vehicle in front of us, Vehicle 3, and that vehicle was knocked into the vehicle in front of them, Vehicle 4. When the sheriff's deputy arrived and started filling out accident reports and getting interviews and trying to determine who was at fault, the at-fault driver of Vehicle 1 claimed that Vehicle 2 had already hit the 2 vehicles in front of us. I guess this at-fault driver was trying to escape responsibility for the damage to those 2 cars. But it was determined through interviews and the sequence of crash sounds, I guess, by the sheriff's deputy and later on the highway patrol officer that the vehicle number 1, the one that had hit us, was at fault. When we got home, we filed a claim or report with our insurance company, and they made an appointment with a repair shop that was on their list of authorized repair shops for Tuesday. The day after the crash, which was Monday, we got a call from the at-fault driver's insurance company. They asked us questions. And I knew to be careful with what you say, how you answer their questions, and not to get too specific. If they ask you, "How are you?" you say, we knew enough to say, "We have to wait a while to find out. We're not sure right now. Ask us in a couple of weeks." It's like we knew we had to really watch out with insurance companies, because we've heard, to put it blunt, horror stories like somebody in a storm, someone's roof gets damaged, leaks really bad, soaks all their furniture and rugs and walls, and they call up and file a claim, and they say, "Yeah, my house was completely flooded." And next thing you know, the insurance company is saying, "Sorry, you're not covered because you don't have flood insurance." We knew we had to watch out with our wording. I asked them about diminished value and was told I could file a claim after the repairs were finished. This diminished value is the diminution, if that's the correct word, diminution of value after repairs are done, because when a car is in a crash, it's not worth anywhere near as much as it would be if it had never been in a crash. So you can file a diminished value claim, we found out. On Tuesday, we went for the appraisal at the auto body repair shop, and we got an estimate that was well within the criteria of repair cost that the insurance company would go ahead and authorize the repairs rather than declare it totaled. But the repair shop said in order to be 100% sure, they would have to take the car apart and look, see if there was more damage, and then revise the estimate quote. So we made an appointment for Thursday for that. On Thursday, we brought the car in for the reappraisal. They said they would let us know, but we never heard a word from them. On Friday, we got after them about the reappraisal, and they said it was getting near to being completed. And they said it was near the threshold. They would have a final amount soon. That didn't sound good. Getting near the threshold means the insurance company would probably declare it totaled. They sent the appraisal to the insurance company that same day, Friday. We thought it might be maybe Monday before we heard from the insurance company to let us know, but we heard nothing from them on Monday. On Tuesday, we finally gave up about hearing from them. And we looked on the insurance company's website, and there is a page where you can get updates on your claim. And it said, I don't remember the exact wording, but it said something like repairs authorized or approved. And in another section it said, all you have to do now is contact the repair shop and give them the go-ahead. So we were just incredibly happy because we liked the car and we wanted it repaired. We called the repair shop and they said, no, it would have been declared totaled. And I said, but we saw this on the insurance company's website that said it was approved. Would you like me to send you a screenshot? And they said, no, we have to hear it right from the insurance company. We will give them a call, and then we'll call you back about what they say. Naturally, we never heard a word from them. It seemed to be the trend involved in this accident. No one calls back when they're supposed to. So we called the insurance company, and they informed us that, yes, it was declared totaled. I asked them why their website section where you can see how your claim is going said that the repairs were approved, and all we had to do was contact the repair shop and give them the go-ahead. And the person I spoke to, and this is the absolute truth, said, oh, they put that down on everyone's page. Later on, I filled out a survey, and I told them I was extremely disappointed, and I couldn't understand why they do this. And I never heard a word from them in apology. On Wednesday, the insurance company sent us a power of attorney form by email to fill out and send back. On Thursday, we had been, when it was getting near to the threshold for the insurance company to declare it totaled, we started looking for a car. We looked around used car lots, and the prices were atrocious because new cars are so hard to get now because of the chip shortage, that they've raised the price on all the used cars. So we went to the place where we had bought our vehicle, the one that was declared total, and on Thursday they called us and said they had a car available. We went and looked at it, and we bought it. Also on Thursday, the insurance company sent us an email to sign to authorize the payment of the settlement. Late Thursday, we got an email saying it was issued. On Friday, the settlement was into my wife's bank account. We are in the process of waiting to hear about a claim we filed with the at-fault driver's insurance company for what's called loss of use. For each day that you're without your vehicle, you're entitled to compensation equal to what the cost would be to rent a car for that day. Also, there's a problem with the deductible. Our insurance company told us that after they got repaid by the at-fault driver's insurance company, they would also get our $500 deductible from them and send it to us. It's been now about maybe 2.5 months, and it's getting to the point where I'm going to have to call them about the deductible. The repair estimate apparently is just that, an estimate. It's not a firm price for the repairs. The insurance company figures if it's anywhere close, they're just going to declare it total because they figure the final repair cost will add $1,000, $2,000 to it. Here's an example. If the threshold that the insurance company uses to declare a car total is, for example, $8,000, and the estimate comes out at $6,000, the insurance company would probably still declare it as totaled, even though the estimate was $2,000 lower than the threshold, supposedly. They're just assuring the final bill will be higher, so they declare it totaled. And also, I think they're not reluctant to declare a car totaled because salvage value for parts is very valuable, I guess the word would be, to the insurance company. They can get a lot of money for salvage value for parts. of a car. So they really wanted our car, and they didn't care how we felt about it. They have all the power. They set what's called the actual cash value, which everything is based upon. We figured our actual cash value was $1,000 to $1,500 more than they set the actual cash value at. I think what happens is we sent them all kinds of evidence, photos showing the condition of the car other than the damage, the photos of the inside. We showed them the odometer showing that even though it was a 4-year-old car, it had less than 15,000 miles on it. I think that it is impossible, in my opinion, to get an insurance company to classify a car as being in excellent condition. If they see that a car is 4 years old, the best condition that they will assign to it is good, and I think that's what makes the difference. So even if you bought a car, kept it in your garage for 4 years, never drove it even 1 mile, they're not going to rate it anything as anything higher than good, in my opinion. You can fight it if you don't need the settlement money right away to get another vehicle, and if you don't mind spending time in court, and maybe giving ultimately what you are awarded if you win, in part to a lawyer, or you could handle it yourself if you want to do a ton of studying to learn the procedure. What would also be involved is you would have to pay an appraiser to appraise what he thinks the car is worth. Otherwise, you wouldn't have evidence to present to a judge. But we didn't have 2 years. We didn't have money to pay a lawyer. We needed a car, so we settled for their settlement, which we thought was $1,000 to $1,500 less than it should have been. There is something called subrogation. It's a process by which the insurance company gets repaid by the at-fault driver's insurance company. Because in this state, we have no-fault insurance, which I think is absolutely great. You file a claim with your insurance company and they pay it, and then they get it back from the at-fault driver's insurance company. Here in Florida, for some reason, the state legislature is trying to do away with no-fault insurance for reasons I just cannot imagine why anyone would want to do that, except maybe for the obvious reason politicians do anything. The state legislature, through the laws that they've passed, claim that when you're in an accident which isn't your fault, you will be made whole again. I found, because of this crash, that's far from the truth. Here's our current situation. The car we bought, a 2020 Spark, was, if this car was smashed into and the insurance company declared it totaled, we wouldn't get a cent, because every cent would go to the finance company. We owe about $19,000 on the loan, and there's no way the insurance company would assign an actual cash value anywhere remotely near it. So we would get 0 cents if the car was totaled today. That's hardly being made whole, ending up with 0. It's my opinion that the at-fault driver's insurance company should be forced to pay off your loan, because otherwise you're going to end up, if it's a newer car, you're going to get 0 cents for the settlement. It'll all go to the finance company. In our case, we owed, I'll round out the figures on the car that was wrecked. We owed about $11,000, I would say. We owed around $6,000. We ended up getting $4,000 something after they subtracted the $500 deductible. They paid $6,000 to the finance company, and we get the balance. That's how it works. The finance company gets precedence. On our car that was wrecked, we had a little over a year to pay. It was in excellent condition. Like I said, it had less than 15,000 miles on it. Now we are back to having a 6-year loan, and that's hardly being made whole, in my opinion. I think something needs to change on the state laws regarding car accidents. And even in the case of this crash, where our car was declared totaled, once again, how will you return to being whole when the settlement only leaves you with enough to maybe pay for a down payment on a lesser vehicle? And especially with the way prices are now because of the chip shortage, you may have to settle for a clunker, a much older, nowhere near as good condition car as the one that was wrecked. I think the lawmakers should modify the laws to take into account the current situation, the chip shortage, COVID-19, lack of employees to make chips apparently, and the insurance company may assign an actual cash value based on the current market value of the vehicle, which would take into account the chip shortage and increased prices. But with the settlement, like in our example, $4,400, once again, you're going to end up having to probably settle for a clunker. We found that if the settlement is used to make a down payment, if you can find a vehicle that you can afford the monthly payments with just paying a minimal down that you got from the settlement, then you're back to 6 or however many years your loan is. In other words, you're back to square one. It seems like hardly being made whole. Being made whole, to me, would be if you're reimbursed an amount that your car is actually worth. And to do that, the at-fault insurance company would have to pay off your loan. I think that would only be fair, because otherwise you're not going to be returned to the situation you were in before the crash, which is what the lawmakers claim their laws provide for. So I think somebody needs to make recommendations to the state lawmakers to change the laws so that you are actually returned to the situation you were in before the crash, not to a lesser situation where you have to settle for a piece of junk because you got a pittance settlement. We learned there is something called storage fees that a repair body shop place might charge. We only found out about this in the power of attorney form that the insurance company sent us online. And what it said in that power of attorney form was that they only paid storage fees up to a certain date, which turned out to be like 1 or 2 days. So I went and asked the repair place if they had storage fees, and luckily this repair place didn't. Otherwise, what's recommended is if they did, we would have had to get the vehicle out of there in case the insurance company dragged their feet coming to get it. And one other thing that we learned is really useful is to request a total loss statement. It will be needed to get a refund on unused gap insurance or unused extended warranty. All I have to say about our experience with the insurance company after the crash that was not our fault is that the whole experience left us with a feeling about the same as we would have had if the car had been stolen out of our driveway late at night. I can't say it was a pleasant experience. It was disappointing. It was not at all what we expected since the crash wasn't our fault, but I guess that's the way insurance companies operate. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it's been of use and informative. If you like it, you can leave us a thumbs up, and you can, if you want to, you can leave a comment below.